What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 52nd tutorial in the top-down zombie game tutorial series. And in this tutorial, we're going to be fixing a few small things. And amongst those things is it's the what's it called? It's the rotation and the mouse coordinates. Because you can see when we enter full screen mode, like it doesn't rotate properly, and it kind of works properly when we're in small screen mode. And also the other problem is that when we die and we enter the welcome screen, when you try to play again, the game will kind of crash. Oh, it doesn't crash. Yeah, it does crash. It does crash. Yeah. And so we're gonna fix that. And also one more problem that we're gonna be fixing is like currently when we kill the zombie and the zombie dies, his collider is still there. As you can see, when I kill him, my bullets are still kind of colliding. If you feel the gist, my bullets are still colliding with the zombie's collider. So the first thing we're going to be fixing is I'm going to be fixing the mouse problem. So yeah, I went ahead off screen and I created a visual representation. So yeah. So currently our aspect ratio. In fact, let me just close all of this. Close all and open Okay. Currently this is our This is our resolution, 800 by 600. So you could have gone with any resolution you went with. It doesn't really matter. It's just you get the concept. Yeah. So let's say this is our resolution. So remember earlier on we created a canvas when you got started with entering full screen mode. We created a canvas or a back buffer image, and then we were kind of stretching it. Here's a stretched version of the image. So here's a stretched version of the image, and we kind of created some black bars so that it doesn't, mess with our resolution, the aspect ratio, so that the images don't look stretched. So yeah. So what we kind of need to do right now is to convert these coordinates, any coordinates in here, to so that it's kind of relative to the window or to the screen. So it's actually relative to the whole thing from this area, from this point to this point over there. Yeah. So how do we kind of do that? So first of all, there's kind of like three, transformation that's happening. So the first transformation is so this is the original, image, and this is the stretched image, kind of, and then this is the on-screen image. So first of all, what we kind of need to do is to convert these coordinates to these coordinates. So how do we do that? So what we can do, let's say we have an item that's at position, I don't know, let's just call it an X and Y. So to convert this position from here to this, from a coordinate system using 1160 and 900, it's actually really simple. What we do is we kind of try and normalize these values, kind of like with vectors, how you normalize that. Also, we normalize these. So what we do is we're going to take the X and we're going to divide this by our original, canvas width. So it's going to be by 800. We're going to divide it by 800. And then that's going to give us a normalized value between 0 and 1. 0 being this position and 1 being here. So then we need to convert that number between this area. So this will become our new 0, and this will become our new 1. So in order to convert from this to that, we're going to need to multiply this by 1160. So that will give us, the coordinate system between this area and this area, between these two places. So, and what else we need to do is we need to add this area, because remember we added provisions for, the black screen. To add we call them letterboxes, I guess. Yeah. So we added provisions for letterboxes. So So we're gonna add, so whatever we have here, we're just gonna add it by this amount to kind of offset it to the right. So yeah, and I'll simply just call it, black bar. So we're gonna add it to the black bar. So that's how we're gonna be calculating our X values. But with our Y values, we don't have any black bar on the top bottom. So it's simply just going to be Y divided by 900. No, not 900, what am I doing? Divide that by 600, and we're going to multiply this by 900, and that's it. That's literally it. So let's go ahead and get started coding. So I'm going to simply open up, okay, so the first thing, okay, we already have it open. So the first thing I want to do is to make display public and static. Reason being is because I want to be able to access display from everywhere. So public, I forgot to make it static. And let me just remove this. And yeah, so the next step is we're going to be entering the game object. I think this a while back we created a get on screen coordinates. So yeah, so the first thing I want to do here is I want to remove this. And after that, I simply want to, recalculate the X offset. So X offset will equal, as you can see earlier, we're going to divide this by this value, and then we're going to multiply it by this value, and then we're going to add this. So what are these values? So remember, what is it called? Let's enter top-down Zombie game. We're running with a width of 800 and 600. So what I can simply do, if I were you, I'd simply say, create some brackets and write X offset, and I'll simply divide it by top-down zombie game dot width, and then I'll excuse me, and then I'll multiply it by top down zombie game dot display dot buffer width. So yeah, that should give me everything, because remember the buffered width is like the stretched version, the stretched transformation, and so which is kind of here. And also need to add expose, because this is like the offset for the black, for the black area. So I'll simply add it to top down zombie game dot display dot expose, more like offset, by the way. So yeah, so we also need to calculate the Y offset. So it's going to be equals to Y offset divided by top down zombie game dot height, and we want to multiply it by top down zombie game dot display dot buffer height, and we're good here. So the other things we need to do now is to go ahead and integrate it. So currently we're only doing integrations for for the managed shooting. That's when we're using the get on screen coordinates, but we need to do the same thing for the for the rotation. So when we enter the rotation, manage rotation, where is it? Okay, rotate mouse follow. So we're kind of doing this, which is quite primitive. So if I just paste this, as you can see, mouse and shoot direction is going to be mouse to sub get on screen coordinates. Instead of calculating the X and Y from renderer.x offset, we're simply going to be, doing all of this. So let me just not bore you, and let me delete all of this first and make the suitable changes. So here I'll simply add shoot direction.x, and for the adjacent it will be shoot direction.y. And I can go ahead and remove all of these because we're not going to be needing them anymore. And everything is good now. So when we run this now, that should be problem 1 fixed. As you can see, we didn't break anything. It's still working in small screen mode. And when we enter large screen mode, it's still, it's rotating perfectly and it's still firing. And when we enter the lower screens, it's, it's still kind of working. When we enter the edges of the map, it's still kind of working. So that's one problem done. Now the next problem is the, what is it called? It's the zombie collider problem, where the colliders of the zombies are not, when you kill the zombie, the collider should go away. So yeah, so the first thing is in here, we so currently we're already adding a collider inside the, we're adding a collider inside the zombie class, and we're also adding a collider inside the what's it called? Inside the young zombie. What's the young zombie called? The green zombie class. So yeah, so what I want to do is just want to remove this one over there, and inside the zombie class. And yeah, so we have this. So what I want to do is I want to create a protected collider, or simply call it collider. And instead of saying collider, instead of simply adding a new collider right over here, we'll simply create the collider. So simply say collider is equals to new collider, this. And I can just simply copy this and paste it for the other constructor over here. And when we say add component to here, we can simply say add collider. And I can simply copy the same thing, Control C and Control V at this other constructor. And we're good to go. We still haven't fixed the problem yet. So in order to fix this problem, there should be a function here called kill. So inside this kill method, I'll simply add a scene dot remove collider, and I'll simply say remove that collider, and then after this, it should go away when the zombie dies. So when we play this right now, and when we see this, and now when I shoot at the zombie and he kind of dies, and the colliders are gone now, because right now we're actually removing them when we kill the zombie. So that's epic. So the other thing that we need to do is to, so that's the first thing that we fixed. So that's the next thing that we fixed. Now is the, the crashing, the game crashing. So we need to fix that. So the first thing I want to do is to enter the scene class. Let me just close close other, and enter the scene class. And and what I want to do is instead of creating these arrays up here, I want to create these arrays inside the constructor. So yeah, so instead of making colliders, so I'll simply just remove this. Let me not speak much. I can simply say colliders is equals to, let me remove this. We'll have to do the same thing for projectiles. And yeah, everything seems to be working properly. And yeah, everything's smooth. So what we do now is we enter the scene manager. And inside here, what we kind of need to do is to, when we start a new scene, we kind of need to, we need to reinitialize that scene so that it doesn't have a bunch of other references. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but pretty much let's just fix this. So the first thing I want to do is, before we start, I need to know which scene this is. So yeah, so I'm gonna have an if statement to check, I need to know what kind of scene this is, because remember we have different scenes, because we have different scenes with polymorphism and all that stuff. So inside here, inside the if statement, I'll simply say if current scene dot get name dot equals, and I just have to go to the gameplay scene and copy the name. I actually forgot the name. Control C and paste this here. I want to make the current scene into a new gameplay scene. So that way I'm reinitializing the scene every single time we switch scenes. I also need to do the same thing for the what's it called? For the other scene. So let me just copy this. And let me just enter the welcome and copy this. And here we simply say current scene is going to be equals to new welcome scene. And that should be good, I suppose. Let's check a few things and yeah. So I think that's good. So now when we enter this and run, hopefully that problem with the scenes should be fixed. On the game crashing when we die and re-enter the scene, it should be fixed. So let me just let the zombie kill me, and when we press enter, apparently it looks as if everything's working properly. Let me just let him kill me again, and we enter. Okay, it looks like it's working now. And let's see how multiple zombies kind of work out. And yeah, everything seems to be working properly. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and you subscribe. So yeah, guys, peace.